Okay, I'm going to shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely, lovely Tuesday morning in which the Most High, a higher has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm hoping this is enough lighting. I was thinking about going to get some more lighting, but it's really not about what you see; it's what you hear. It really should be the focus. I thank the Most High this morning from just dealing with me. Period. I know we as people can be very sick in mind, and I myself knows that. And I just thank the Most High for just putting up with me. Let's say that. I thank the Most High, a higher, for putting up with me. Thank you, Father, a higher, a higher. So this topic is to know the mystery. Um, And I think this lesson is more so for me than it is for you. Hallelujah. This message is more so for me than it is you. Because I learned when I got in it so much good stuff. So I just count myself truly blessed for him to allow me to learn as I prepare to teach. You see, because don't ever let someone tell you that when they speaking to bring things to you. A higher first have to bring it to you before you bring it to them. Okay, so it leaves you in it as well as what you are teaching to them. It leaves you in it during the time you're teaching it. He's talking to you too. Okay, that's how you know that you're dealing with a highest elects. Okay. Now the topic is to give to know to give to know the mystery. Okay, give to know the mystery. Okay, there are parables given to those who are not to know the word for what it is worth or the mystery of the word. Okay, but they are given parables, and there are those who's given not just the understanding of the parables, but the mystery of the word. I love that because I remember being a teenager, and he said, "Blessed is thee that knoweth and understand the parables and the word," because there's people who don't even understand the word and can get in this biblical book and master precept, line, little here, little there, and they don't understand some of the stuff is parables. And you have to be able to know the mystery to understand the parables. Okay. And it's not something you can just get in here and go to school or college or seminaries or anything to learn this. This come through the Ruach HaKodesh. This don't come through books, schooling, sitting up under your pastor, your leaders, your Maureen, your seer, your watchman. No, no, no. This come through spirit and it come through truth. When you give spirit and truth the credit that's due him, which is a higher, then you on the right track. But if you want to continue to feed these people to think that they're the truth, no, they're not spirit and truth. Spirit and truth is a higher speaking through those that he has given his mystery to and chosen as the elect. Okay. Now we're going to start from Luke chapter 8. We're going to go into Luke chapter 8. We're going to go to Luke chapter 8, and we're going to start with verse 1, and we're going to drop down. But I want you to hang in there with me. This give to know the mystery. And as Sister Deborah has spoken in time past, I have spoken yesterday, today, a couple of days before. I keep trying to tell you all that this here, it makes sense now when he keep telling me, okay, Deborah, it's okay. This need be. It's because he's letting me know that even though I sit and I wrestle with what they're teaching, what they're preaching, and how the people are flocking, and how they're eating from their plates, and every plate they put up before them, they're eating it. Ahaya is saying, this need be. This is need be. And this is what I'm going to show you why he said it. Because when he has to say that to Sister Deborah, that is a form of comforting. He's saying, okay, baby, I got you. I know you see things in the natural as well as the spirit, and that's what's tormenting you. But I want you to know it's okay, Deborah. It's okay. If it's okay with me, make it okay with thee. If it's okay with me, Deborah, make it okay with thee. Because it's okay with me, because I ordained the beginning to the end. Don't forget your teaching. What took place before the foundation of the world. See, that's the true comforter. The comforter ain't coming to comfort you because someone passed in your life. The comforter ain't coming to comfort you because you're going through this and you're going through that. That's not the comforter, baby. The comforter is coming to comfort you because you thirst to be in his presence. You desire his will. You desire his spirit and truth. You want to know what is right and how to walk therein, how to talk therein, how to act therein, how to live therein, how to wake up therein, how to sleep therein. So he comes to give you the comfort of who he is so that you can rest therein. So when he's telling me, Deborah, it's okay, this need be, that's a form of his comforter. His comforting me that it's okay, baby. And a lot of times he had to remind me what took place before the foundation of the world, Deborah. What took place? All, Father, all that is, was, is, and shall be. Well, okay. See, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't take it personal. And because they don't know, it's because they don't know. Because I didn't give it to them to know. See, it's just a woo! This Ahaya has such a powerful comforter built in him that comes and lets you know it's okay. If it's okay with me, Deborah, I want you to know it's okay with thee. Hallelujah. So if you're thinking he's coming to comfort you in the needs of your flesh and your feelings and your emotions, your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding, you are lost with total cause behind it. You just lost without a cause. Totally. Because his spirit is not about comforting your flesh, making you feel good, making you get a good understanding so you can be able to continue on the devil's platform, going to video to assure your flesh you in there. Go on in there. Be in there. And you still nowhere. You still nowhere. And this is what this topic is about. Give to know the mystery. Let's go there. Luke chapter 8, verse 1. And it came to pass after that he went throughout the city and the village, preaching and showing. So he was showing through the power and preaching the word, the glad tidings of the kingdom of Ahaya. Do y'all know what that means? And I'm going to show you where, and I'm going to help y'all out a great deal. Why is it that you can't really get on the right path? This here message is going to help you why you can't. Okay. Now, listen to this. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 8, verse 1. And it came to pass afterward that he went throughout every city and village, preaching and teaching and showing the glad tidings of the kingdom of Ahaya. And the 12 were with him. So he's going to city, preaching, giving the word, and showing the power therein. They come hand in hand. Okay. Now, let's drop down to verse 4. And we're going to take it from here. This is where we're going to dive in. In verse 4, it says, and when much people were gathered together and were come to him out of every city, he spoke by parables. Wait a minute, hold up. What's happening here? Wait a minute, Deborah. Let's take them there. Let's take them all the way there. I'm with you, Father. Let's go. Okay. Here he says, and he spoke. Let's read verse 4. Luke chapter 8, verse 4. And when much people were gathered together and were come to him out of every city, he spoke by parables. I hear you now. Now here we go. Verse 5. A sower went out to sow his seed. Okay. You see the word seed. Okay. You notice it's S-E-D. Okay. Let's go to the Gospel of John right quick. Chapter 1. The Gospel of John, chapter 1. The Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 1. Let's put it like that. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 1. Now, I'm not taking you here. Ahaya is. I'm not taking you here because this is not even on my paperwork. So I'm not taking you here. He is. Okay. The Gospel of John, chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word. Do you see an S behind that word? Saying words. Words. With an S. And the Word, not words. Not words, but Word, was with Ahia. And the Word, not words with an S, not words with an S, but Word was Ahia. The Word was Ahia. So you see the word in capital, but you notice there's no S to it to let you know when people speak, they normally speak more than one word. But this is showing you how you connect to the power of who you're dealing with. 99.20 million trillion wouldn't know that. When he's speaking of the word, he's wanting you to connect to who he is in full power and authority. See, he ain't gonna say words. He gonna let you know. I don't have to have many. That's why he said he that have an ear. You don't have to have two ears. He ain't talking about natural ears. He talking about spiritual. That's why he said ear, not ears. You all don't know how to step into the realm of what is spirit and what is truth. Now, here, Luke chapter 8, verse 5. I had a big issue with this, y'all. How old is my daughter? She's 20. So I think I had this issue 21 years ago. 21 years ago. When I sat down and I said, I'm going to read this here and write, just do my little search and do my little lesson on it. And I got, wait a minute, hold up. I got a problem. And I'm going to tell y'all how silly I was. But in my silliness is where he taught me. Spirit and truth. Now listen to verse 5. Luke chapter 8 and verse 5. A sower went out to sow his seed. Notice that seed. You don't see no S. Because that seed represents one thing. That represents that capital W-O-R-D. The seed that he went out to sow it was his word. And as he sowed it, some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. Wait a minute, hold up. Right then, and then once he had taught me, guess what? I was so eager because I had moved my aunt in to live in with us because she had nowhere to go. And I remember me and her was in the living room. We was reading the Bible, and I wanted her to teach her what I had learned about how he showed me the fullness. And when I did, she thought she was laughing, so she was crying because she was saying how you was breaking it down. It's what got her. It's the way I broke it down because I was giving it to her like he had broken down in me, and I was giving it to her, and she thought that was so funny. It just made her said, she said most people wouldn't even catch that movie. They wouldn't even see that. I said, she said, but the way you doing it, I mean, you can't help but see it. Now watch this here. In Luke chapter 8, verse 5, a sower. My issue was, now y'all, you got to understand, Sister Deborah is one that always have her hand up in the classroom in the wilderness. Wait a minute, something wrong with this. It ain't that something is wrong with it. It ain't because I'm raising my hand up. It's because I see something in spirit. That's what it is. I'm seeing something too high to see in the natural, and I got my hand up saying there's a problem. I call it a problem because I'm in the flesh, and I'm wondering why am I seeing this here this way, and instead of seeing it the way it's said. I can't see it that way, you guys. That's why I really try not to teach this book, because I can see behind seeing what it said. Now here, I'm going to show y'all 21 years ago. This is what I said. I said, first of all, I got a question. Wait a minute, Father. Why is this sower who knows how to sow putting seeds in the wrong place? Why is this sower out there sowing, period, if he don't know how? I was loading it up on the Most Higher, and he was loving it. He was loving it. Because in the midst of me asking him all these questions, raising my hand, all this, Father God, why they doing it? Why they did this? Why they doing it? Why is it? Why is that sower even out there? He ain't got no business on the field. Oh, I was cutting up. Father showed me. He said, Deborah, I'm the sower. I said, now you're talking. Now I understand. See, he has to take me all the way there. And I'm going to break this thing down to you. And I know you ain't never heard it like this, but you finna hear it in spirit and truth. You can take it whatever way you want, because even he going to set that to you through what he's taught me. He's going to show you how you taking it the way you want to. And he don't have no problem. And my prophets don't have no problem either, because I taught her spirit and truth. Okay, now listen to this. So I did, y'all. I cut up. I'll never forget that day. I was cutting up, saying, wait a minute, there's a problem here. I just thought that, hey, wait a minute. That's why I tell you all, in the day that we're in, there's no such thing as this book is not true. You see? Now, you might have some stuff smeared, but if you have tarried for the Ruach and the Ruach live in you, anything smeared, he's going to wipe it up and make sure you get it without a spot nor a wrinkle. You see how he is? Now, isn't that beautiful? So he's telling you, don't worry about it. Don't put so much emphasis on David, Moses, Enoch, and all this mess flesh has done. Put emphasis on me. Seek ye the kingdom where I reside. My throne, who I am, and all shall be added to you. That's a part of receiving his spirit, y'all. But if you, a lot of people running around, I got the Ruach, you ain't got nothing. Because you have not even accepted who he is. Okay, now watch this here. So in verse 5 of Luke chapter 8, verse 5, a sower went out to sow his seed. Okay, I want you to understand the sower is a higher. Okay, that Yah is the sower. Okay, and he went out and he sowed his seed. His seed. His seed is the word. The seed, without an S, in here is his word. And as he sowed it, okay, that's the labor in what he was doing. And he sowed it. Some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. Throughout this here, I was constantly, like I said, raising my hand, because I was like, first I was confused. Why would the sower be out there sowing anyway if you're sowing it in the wrong places? That's after I had read the whole thing, you guys. This was years ago, like 21, 22 years ago. I said, that don't make no sense. Why is he's even out there sowing if you don't know where to put the things in the right place so that it will? But see, that was also a part of what took place before the foundation of the world. This sower that sowed these seeds, he done it before heaven and earth was created. And he's giving you the lowdown of how heaven had already orchestrated the ways in which you all are running around here trying to see. It's finished, y'all. You see what I'm saying? It's finished. While you all are trying to figure it out and work it out and make it the way you want to make it to come out, you ain't got a chance in the world and out of the world, or in your flesh, in your feelings, in your emotions, in your wisdom, in your knowledge, and in your fleshly understanding. You can't stand a chance up against my Ahia and the way he has orchestrated everything from the beginning to the end and everything in between. He has designed. Now he said that he sowed the seed and it was trodden down. Where did he sow this seed? On the what? By the wayside. So Ahia is saying to you, because he already said to me through this teaching back then, that he sowed his word in a mist or in the area, Deborah, where I already knew it wasn't going to manifest. That's why he sit and tell Deborah, it's okay. You giving them the potent. You giving them the keys that you have unlocked the door. And they ain't got the sense to even look like they know how to walk in. He said, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You think I'm caught up in it? I'm the sower. I'm Ahia. And the seed is my word. But look where I allowed it to land. My word land on what? The wayside. And what happened? It was trodden down and the fowls of the air devoured it. Let's go on, y'all. Let's go on. Verse 6. And here go Ahia. And some of the seed, which is his word, fell upon rocks. See, y'all, even when he said rocks, I was like this here. Wait a minute. He said, Deborah, I'm still the seed. I'm still the sower. The seed is my word. I put it there. You see, he had to keep telling me. That's 22 years ago. Because I'm like, wait a minute. This ain't, wait, hold up. It's sore. I don't get it. But he had to keep reminding me, stay in there. And all the questions that I was asking him and I was responding to it was in his will that I do that because I am elect. And he said, if it was so, if it was so, it will fool the very elect. But because the way I formed that clay for the elect, they are not to be fooled. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So as we go to verse 6, Luke chapter 8, verse 6, and it says, and some fell upon a rock. And as soon as it sprung up, it withered away because it lacked moisture. See, God's word been amongst you all and many others. Thousands of years. Put on by them, put by the wayside. Put by rocks. Now I want to explain something. Let me finish this here. And in verse 7, it says, Luke chapter 8, verse 7, and some fell among thorns. And the thorns sprung up with it and choked it. Ahia put his word amongst these, I'm going to tell you what it, these situations by the wayside, fell upon rocks, and among thorns. What are those? What is the thorns? What is the wayside? What is the rock? What is that? People. Right among people was his word released, right in the midst of it. And it didn't benefit. That's why Sister Deborah don't care if she had one subscriber. I'd rather have one than to have millions. Praise the mighty God. Because the truth be told, I have not lost not one. You know, you can't lose, Deborah, that Ahia has not already suffered to be lost. So you can't lose nothing. You can only gain as fruit to the Ahia, but losing, subscribe away, baby. Unsubscribe. away. I can't lose. I can only gain. You see, it doesn't matter for Sister Deborah to have one subscriber. That's how lost the mindset of the flesh is. Now, here you have to understand. Let's understand something. In Luke chapter 8, okay, we have the rock. First, we have the wayside, we have the rock, and we have the thorns. Okay, I want you to understand that is people. Ahiah plant seed, which is his pure adulterated word, among these people. And it never manifested. Never did. Now, when did he do that? This was orchestrated before the foundation of the world in Ahiah. Everything that we are looking at, he's seen before heaven and earth was created. So when people be trying to battle with, oh, he created man first, used a life from the pit of hell. The creation was done in the heart of Ahiah before heaven and earth was created. That's why he said heaven and earth can pass away. 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 Heaven and earth can pass a word, but everything rests within him because it's where it come from. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's not important to try to seek man on all these devil platforms and trying to get something out of these people that's teaching and preaching, because you ain't going to benefit nothing. You see? That's why he says, seek ye the kingdom. Why? Because that's where the word really rests. That's where the ruach really rests. That's where spirit and truth really rests. That's where you thirst. That's where you want that drink. That's where the narrow gate ends up. While we sitting here seeking all these platforms, trying to be justified, clarified, and identified on the earth, heavens has already locked us in before anything was. That means when he see you, yes, he look at it and he see it what he already seen. And he said, oh no, it's the same that I already seen, but it's just every time I look at it, it's this. Okay, now here in 7, he says that some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up with it and choked it. These are people he's talking about. His word is the seed. He is the sower. Ahiah, not Yeshua. Yeshua is not the sower. Okay? Ahiah is. He have orchestrated everything before the foundation of the world, not Yeshua. Hamashiach is his power within him, but not Yeshua. Okay? Yeshua is an angel that was assigned to be the lamb sacrifice, the blood. That's why he had to come as the Son of Man. And then he also sent with the Son of Man, the Son of Yah, which is Hamashiach. A lot of the world called Christ. That's why it's Yeshua, Jesus Christ, as the word calls it, and Yeshua Hamashiach. They won in the mission. One for the blood, to die, the sacrifice, and the other one's to raise that sacrifice back up from the dead, because it got all power in it, which is Christ. That's why we can't come through the door, y'all. You can't come through the back windows in the basement and out of the side one. You got to come straight through that door, which is spirit and truth. You like me now? Now, in verse 8, he says, and others fell on good ground. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Verse 8, Luke chapter 8, verse 8. And others fell on good ground and sprung up and bare fruit 100-fold. And when he had said these things, he cried. He that has an ear, and when he said cried, that means he shouted out loud. He that has an ear to hear, let him hear. Let him hear. And here is supposed to be ears, but you see ear. But he's saying he that has an ear, which is E-A-R. But here you accept ears. It says to hear, let him hear. See, this is where I say that is a smear. But Ahiah come back and he clear it up in me, not in you. He already know if you the thorns, if you the rocks, if you the wayside that he sprinkled his word and it never manifests. He already know that. You see why I say to you all over and over, it's not about chasing these feast days, these moon days, these traditions of Israel, the same forefather that got us, caused us to be where we at. Them sick people tell you go back to Torah, go back there and do those ways. Wait, how are we gonna go back and do ways that got us where we at now? You can't do it. Can't be done. That's why we need the Ruach. It's coming to teach us how to walk upright and do the ways of the Most High in spirit and in truth. Now, listen to this. Listen to this. Verse 9. Are we going there? Yes, we are. Verse 9. And the disciples asked him, saying, what might this parable be? See, even though he was giving it to the, see, what people never really good, because don't forget, the Ruach wasn't given to them. He hadn't come to live in them. So they was just as blind can be as well. See, they wondering what is this parable? See, wasn't Sister Deborah like that too when she was in that class 22 years ago? Well, wait a minute. Why is the sword? See, I wasn't doubting what it was saying. I was trying to figure out, well, why would the sword do that? But see, he wanted me to know, Deborah, I'm the sword. I'm a high. That's when that's more like it. That's what I'm talking about. Now I know what's going on. So you don't know until a higher bring that level and level you off to get it. Because me, that's why he said, no, ain't nobody gonna teach you. You ask too many questions. And the questions that I ask is thirst, yeah. It's thirsting. I'm thirsting for spirit and truth. I'm not thirsting for man understanding, man wisdom, man knowledge. And I don't go to a higher. One thing I do not go to higher, asking him stupid questions. Well, why this person did this? Like when you think about Naomi and Ruth, I sit back and I think about that whole picture, and I said to the Father, I said, how is it that whole book of Naomi and Ruth, and how did they miss it? He said, if I'm not in them to give it to them in spirit and truth, Deborah, they're not the one that has an ear to hear. Keep on studying. Keep on this here, what I'm about to teach you, and show you why 99 trillion of you all can't gain the mystery. Okay, let me continue. In verse 9, and his disciples asked him, saying, what might this parable be? See, and today, and during their time, when the Ruach comes, okay, it's going to teach you all things. That means the word and the parables. So me, myself, silly Deborah, wait a minute, when I go to class, I got a question. Why is it man not understand the parables today? I ask that question because I understand the word and the parable. You see, the reason why they don't understand the parables is because they really don't understand the word. And the reason why they don't understand the word, because they really don't understand the parable. Because both of them come hand in hand when you have the mighty teacher called the Ruach HaKodesh. Why you say that, Deborah? Because he come to teach you all things, meaning parables that's in this book and the word. He comes to give you the overall. He is the teacher. He didn't say of some things. He told you all things. That means if these things that the disciples was asking him, what do those parables mean? If the Ruach was living in them, but he wasn't. See, he was among them, but he wasn't living in them. If the Ruach was in them, they wouldn't have asked that question. They automatically know, because the Ruach is the teacher of all things, not some. So that's why Sister Deborah, when she's saying, a lot of people say, oh, I got the Ruach, I got the Ruach HaKodesh, I got spirit in you. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. You got what you say you have. Have you been tried by the Spirit to tell you that you have it? See, that's the thing about it. Because the parables were set to be spoken to those, and you're going to hear it. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm going to stop right there. So in verse 9, his disciples was asking that question because they didn't have the Ruach in them, the true teacher. Sister Deborah had the true teacher in her. And he'd been in me since I was a little girl. So he'd been teaching me as I grow in him. He's been teaching me, and I've been eating him up and down. And eating him up and down means thirsting for more and more and more, because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Wait a minute. They going this way, Father. You go this way, Deborah. And I'm like, if I go this way, why is it I'm seeing this? I can see it this way. And they seeing it that way. He said, because the broad gate is always the way that's not of me. So you're going because you've been thirsty all your life for spirit and truth. And I have given it to you because you constantly thirsting, wanting to know spirit and truth. So this is the disciples. They didn't know nothing about the parables. Okay. They had no idea what was going on when he was giving the parables. Let's continue to read. In verse 10, and he said, until you it is given. Now stop. Notice what he said. This is why I tell you all, when you're trying to understand who a higher is, y'all, when you really want to know, is find, give, and gave, and then you'll know who he is. Right now, 99 trillion don't know really who he is. They don't know what define who he is. First thing they say, love. But you turn love backwards and it's evil. But what happens with give? Here it is in verse 10. And he said, until you it is given. Hallelujah. Sound like it's past tense to me though. Given. Given to know the mystery of the kingdom of Ahia. The kingdom of Ahia. See, they didn't even know that. Ahia set this here for you and I to come higher than them. You see, he wants us to come higher. See, this is why I keep telling y'all, one thing I don't like about even going live is people and opening up the live screen, because everybody's mindset is still right here. No, let me say way down here. No one is coming up and moving up. You see, everybody's still at that same mindset. Their words are still resting way here. But when Ahia is giving you spirit and truth, you're supposed to move higher into a different step in your spirit so your flesh can become the gift that he called to the people. If you're still down here saying the same thing and not moving up higher in him, in your words, in your thought, in your feelings, in your desire to thirst, you're supposed to be moving. Not at the same level that you started in. Now watch this here. So the disciples was telling Yeshua, wait a minute, hold up. What are you doing here? And Yeshua had to even tell them because they didn't have the Ruach. Sister Deborah had the Ruach. I know what it is now. Since I was a little girl, but I'm just saying, I know. But see, then they didn't know because the Ruach wasn't in them to be the teacher. They had Yeshua upon them teaching them, and he did an excellent job, a wonderful job. Listen to what he says. In verse 10, and he said, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of Ahia. To you it is given. It is given. You see, given is what has been hidden from many of us as the word love. Ahia's identity is to give and gave. From Genesis to Revelation, it's give and gave. Once you understand that mystery, because it rests in the kingdom as well. Everything he did was surrounded with give and gave. We cannot, one human being on this earth can bring a definition to the word love that represents Ahia. Because the love that we think love is, because man designed love for us to see it the way they see it, guess what? It's not who Ahia is. Ahia is spirit and truth. And his spirit and truth has actions. As many throw in the word love is to get you. Let me tell you what happened. When love was placed, it makes you not see who Ahia really is. Because that word love cannot be defined. Nowhere. Who on this earth can define the word love? You don't know what Yah is when you say love. You can't define it. That's why you get many, many people. Now listen to what I'm saying. Listen to the power of what I'm saying. That's why you get many million, trillions, for real trillion people saying, he is love. He wouldn't do that. He loves us. He wouldn't send no one to hell. There's no such thing as hell. God is love. He loves us all. In spite of whatever we do, he loves us. That's the same love that man has created for you to believe that is Ahia. And Sister Deborah, since she in the last 2 years trying to get people to understand, a highest is not connected to love, because love even backwards says evo. So you have to be understand that what was also taken from not Hebrew Israelites, y'all, people period in the garden was give and gave, because everything he did when he said let there be, bam, let there be, bam, what let there be, bam, what was he doing? Giving and gave us to be brought here on the earth. Everything he gave, everything he did it out of giving and gave. Everything. Everything. What did he do when he gave us the breath? He gave his breath of life. What did he do when he gave us the spirit? He gave us the light. He is the light, and he gave us a light. Everything he did, it was wrapped around give and gave. But everybody wants to teach this thing about love. And that's why you got the whole world saying they saved, because he loves us all. Y'all don't have no favorite. He loves us. He loves us. He is love. Even when the Bible tells you he created the lake of fire. Oh no, he's not going to send anyone to the lake of fire. He loves us. He's love. God is love. You see what? Do y'all see what I'm saying? Even the word God, if you backwards, it's dog. You see, you have to be able to understand spirit and truth, because it takes you beyond what you've been brought up in, and you still, people still teach it in. So here I love it, because he says in Luke chapter 8 verse 10, and he said, until you it is given. What love can be greater than giving what? To know the mystery of the kingdom of Ahia. Give in. Now, how can we say until you is love to know the mystery of the kingdom of Yah? No, because you don't know Ahia, love. Love is a word that's formed for you to get and think that it represents him. And that's why the world is messed up from the floor. Not just this country. They sit around here killing and letting starving people in Australia, found out in longer than 400 years, longer 100 years. We have people, our people that been over in Australia living from the ground, y'all. No place to stay, no food to eat, dirt and everything. And we run around here complaining about what we have and how we want more of this. I want to get this. I want to get this. I want to get this. No one seems to have put the plow, how would I say it? Put the hand to the plow. Okay. And if you can't put the hand to the plow, representing Ahia, put it in the hand of those who already got their hands to the plow. You see, speaking spirit and truth. No, they can't do it. It's too much. It's too much like righteous. So let it be. So here we go. In verse 10, Luke chapter 8, verse 10, and he said, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of Ahia. He didn't say it was love. It was given to know the mystery. So he's telling the disciples, what you know is above what they know. Meaning you over here as 12, them over here 5,000, 6,000, 3,000. So isn't that a big difference, y'all? So do you see why Sister Deborah said, one is fine with me. Once it's right, then a million. You get what I'm saying? See, you have to line everything up in spirit and truth. Y'all did not give Yeshua, Hamashiach, which the world called Jesus Christ. He didn't do it. He didn't give him the multitude. He only gave him a pen needle, the 12. And one of them, he knew what he had given him. Just like he sowed the seed, his word among. He sowed the word in the betrayal. Likewise, he knew what he gave him. I knew what he gave him. And Yeshua always said, all that thou hast given me. I like that, because Yeshua always turned it over to the Father. And Yeshua's ways rest in me, because I'm a true believer that we need to stop trying to gain a highest power, his authority, his word in a way that we want to master it, sell it, swing it, or destroy it, and all of this. Instead of just giving him the glory in everything he has orchestrated. before the foundation of the world and even today. But no, we don't want to do that. We want to be called in stupid the rest of our lives. Okay, now, here I like the Most High saying that he had given, told the disciples, I've given you all the mystery of the kingdom. Okay, not the multitude, not YouTube, not Facebook, not Instagram, not Patriot, not Twitter. I ain't give them no kingdom. So y'all run around here and make you think like, oh, you getting spirit and truth on this devil platform. You's a lie from the pit of hell. That's why I sit and I tell y'all over and over. The things that I say unto you, you have not, and you will not hear no one preach it nor teach it. And you can take a whole year throughout the whole YouTube, and you'll never hear nobody speak on it. That's how sharp my Father is when he gives to those that can't be fooled, those that he has molded with the clay to be his elect. Okay, now watch this here. And it says that seeing they might not see. Now listen to how he's telling them about the parables. Watch this here. Let's go to verse 10. Luke chapter 8, verse 10. And he said, until you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of Ahiah, but to the others in parables, that seeing they might see, not see. Okay? And learning and hearing they might not understand. See, that's what Sister Deborah be saying to many of you all in this Deborah platform. You're thinking you understand it. So when Sister Deborah said, yeah, they said they see, but they cannot see. They said they hear, they cannot hear. Many of y'all say, I got the spirit, I got the Ruach HaKodesh, I understand spirit and truth. Ahiah, Yeshua had to go through the same thing. And let's see how he said it. Let's see how he said it to the disciples. He's telling the disciples, this is how, this is spirit and truth. This is the reality of it all. He says, until you, in verse 10, until you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom. Okay. Of Yah. Okay. That's the true word. Okay. But listen to what he said. But to others in parables, that seeing they might see, not see. See, because people get on here, and that's why I say everybody at the same level, because you never see them see beyond seeing. You never hear them hear beyond hearing. You have to be able to move, elevate, and you can't move out of your flesh. You have to move by the spirit of Yah. And if Yah is not putting it in your spirit to move from the first step, when you're going to stay on the step that you're on, because you let flesh, feelings, emotions, traditions, ways of everybody else spilling in your ear, telling you it's like this, it's like this, it's like that, ways that make you comfortable in your flesh. You don't move nowhere. You stay at that same level. And that's why many are still at that same level. And this is what Yeshua is saying to them, because even them see, what did he say? They see not. And he said, and what else did he say? He said, hearing that might not hear. They can sit and hear him. Yeshua said they can sit here and hear me, but they might not hear. Let him know. No, they not understand. Not they might not understand. They can hear what Yeshua said, but they might not understand. So it's a gameplay. Even when Yeshua came on the scene, see, this is the Messiah that came, and he walked this and talking the same way Sister Deborah is talking right here today. But he was telling his that Ahiah has given him this same very thing. So I don't have no problem saying what I say. I don't erase nothing I say. Now, am I perfect? No, I'm not. Not in this flesh. Catch me on the spirit and truth side. You're going to be messed up. You see, this flesh ain't about crap. Okay? Okay, now verse 12, it says, no, 11. Luke chapter 8, verse 11. Now the parable is this. Now he's going to break down the parable to the disciples because they didn't understand it. They couldn't see it. They couldn't hear it. They couldn't understand it. Okay? They didn't have what it takes because the Ruach wasn't living in them. But see, that's the difference from their day and our day. And that's why we're more in trouble than they were. It's because he lives in us now. He's bringing so much light before us. And we're telling him, no, I don't want to see your light. I love the way darkness appeared to me. Okay, now listen to what verse 11 is saying. Luke chapter 8, verse 11. Now the parable is this. The seed is the word of Yah. You see that? It is the word, not words. So when they begin to precept you, line you, little here, that's for those who ever learning, never come into the knowledge. Because you don't come to the knowledge by precepting. You don't come through the knowledge by a little here and a little there. You don't come through here line by line. That's not it. You come through the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the teacher of all things. You see, and this is why the disciples couldn't get it. Hallelujah. Because the Ruach hadn't entered in. Oh, no, he ain't telling them to get it. Yeshua did not come to change the law, to fulfill, interfere with the prophet. He came to fulfill it so that it can redeem us back to where we once were. He ain't coming here to make sure you get it, because he said he must go, but Ahia was going to send his spirit back down to us. We missed it. We missed it then. We miss it now. And listen to what he says. Now, the parables in verse 11. Now, the parable is this. The seed is the word of Ahia. So you see, the seed. That's why I'm wondering, why is this sower out here sowing these seeds in the wrong place? Because that was Ahia all the time. From where? From the heavenly level where he prepared all things. He knew where he had put his word. So when you run around here wondering why you don't get it, you ain't gonna get it, because he knows where he has sowed his seed, which is his word. He knows. Okay, now verse 12. Those by the side are they. See here, they. That means people. They hear, then cometh the devil and take away the word out of their heart, lest they should believe and be saved. See, those are the ones that come it, and the devil, that has been sold the word. It's been put in them. And what happens? And by the wayside, that's the wayside, are they, by the wayside are they that hear it. They hear it. See, this is why judgment is no mercy. Because Ahia know in his orchestrating everything, this is why I try to tell y'all, you can't fool him. You can't put one over on Ahia. What is going on to make us think that what is actually going on to make us really think that it's going to be the way we say it is, and do away with what he said, because he don't live in us. That's why we quick to erase his power of his word. But listen to this. He said in verse 12, those by the wayside are they that hear it. So do you see how he knows already that no one is going to escape the idea that they didn't know? Or I didn't understand. I didn't know. He knows he put it in you. He's sitting here saying, the side are they that hear it. Then cometh the devil. So what the word was placed in them, but the devil got the victory in them and took them to his side. And taking away the word out of their hearts, lest they shall believe and be saved. Now, those that he have the devil come and take out of his heart, out of their hearts, guess what? He takes it out. It ain't no thing where they gonna believe. He said they should, but already from the beginning of the parables, he already let you know only the one that was sold on good ground is going to really bring up good fruit. He knows it already. You see, listen to verse 13. They on the rocks, the one that sold the word, or on the rocks that was sold on rock, are they which when they hear receive the word with joy, and these have no root, which for a while believe, and in time temptation fall away. That's a known fact. That's exactly how I explained to y'all. Being on YouTube and having this platform, it's not one that I'm looking to have a big number of YouTubers. One is fine. One, because it's so easy for Satan tools to take these people away. But what I love about what he's saying is, like, when I planted the word, they could never stand before my throne, Deborah, and say the word wasn't planted on them, because I put it on them. You see, even though I knew they wasn't going to sprout out in it, I still put it in them. So you see what I'm saying? So run around here thinking that there ain't going to be no heavy judgment come judgment before the throne. Yes, it is. No more mercy. And that mercy is going to be deep. It's going to tell it like it is. Okay. Now, what does it say? Let's go to 13 again. They on the rock are they which when they heard. See, they heard the word, received the word with joy, happy. And these have no root. They ain't got no root. They happy to hear it. And that's how I feel as a prophetess on this devil platform. Being a prophetess on this devil platform, elect, chosen by the Most High or higher to be up here and be speaking, and people, everybody still at the ground level. It's really hard for me. It is really hard. But I thank the Father for allowing me to continue the race, because he said, even if it's one, it's mine. So stay in the race, Deborah, even for that one. And I appreciate him telling me that and encouraging me. That's that comforter. Now here he's telling you, even the ones that's on rock, they're going to receive it, the word, with joy. And these have no root, which for a while believe, and in temptation fall away. I have had people to come onto my page and really enjoy, but the moment that they can feel, or they have questions upon questions to question everything I say, they be on here just to find an error so they can feed off of it, and Satan let them win and get victory. This is what Ahia is talking about through Yeshua. Speaking it. It ain't Deborah. It ain't because Deborah said something. Deborah couldn't answer the question. It ain't that because Deborah don't know what she's talking about. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's the seed. The word was already placed among you the way Ahia wanted it to. In you. You just weren't going to mount up to a dime in him. He already knew it. That's why I try to tell y'all, before the foundation of the world, he knows who's who and what's what. And that's what these parables are for. This is what the sower and the seed is. He know he has invested his word in us. But those who going to take it, it's going to be for him. And he knows it. That's why their name is written in the Lamb Book of Life. Those who get excited, I hate this one here, because they get joy when they hear the word. They get excited when they hear the word. And they believe while they're hearing it. But after a while, they start mingling with each other, going up against the word, trying to find room to see where this sister ain't right. She ain't. Okay, stay on these devil platforms and see which one is righteous for you. You bet 100 it's going to be in your flesh, making your flesh feel good, not speaking no spirit and truth. Hello. Okay, now let's go to verse 14. And what he say, in time and temptation, they fall away. That's verse 13 in Luke chapter 8 and verse 13. Verse 14. And that which fall among thorns are they which, when they have heard, go forth and are choked with cares and riches and pleasures of this life, and bring no fruit to perfection. You see, and we're going to ride on that one there. I'm going to have to say something about that one, because that is what I was telling y'all I experienced about 2.5 weeks ago, when the Father came to me and he said, I spoke something to an individual to do this, to give unto thee. And I want you to see how you don't know who you're dealing with, because they turned and gave what they wanted, and what they wanted to do, they did it their way. So that they could get their pleasure out of what they were doing, and not taking heed to what he told them to do. Now listen to this. In verse, which one was that one? In verse 14, listen to this. And that which fell among thorns are they, I like that. They are people which, when they have heard, go forth and are choked with cares, with the cares of the world, everybody else's issue, everybody else's business. Okay. And riches, when they get a little something, they think it's about them. Me. I'm the way. I'm the truth. Because riches make people think that. And when he's speaking of riches, he ain't talking about rich of the rich, wealth of the rich. Wealth. He's talking to them and anybody who got something they once didn't have, and they have it, it messes their minds up. They can't hear spirit and truth. They can't take on, nor can they hear the Father when he says, do this. They won't do what he say. That lets them understand that you are not on the right path because you can't hear what he said do. Okay? So it ain't about him blessing one or him giving one something. He letting you do what you want to do for you and yours, and that's it. That's darkness. Okay? Because if you can't hear when he speaks to you, then you ain't who you think you are in him. Okay, now listen to this. That's what he was explaining to me 2.5 weeks ago. Okay, and he told me just be cautious in that moment, in that situation. And here we go, a prime example. And he says in Luke chapter 8, verse 14 is a prime example. He said, cares and riches and pleasure of life, enjoying life, doing everything they want, going every place, doing everything, buying everything they want. And all of it's going to be vain and vexed. Continue to go and go here. And it's when you come back to the home ground, you ain't going to see nothing but a broken heart, a broken spirit, just sitting. Because that's going to wear off too, because you never did what a higher told you to do. You see, listen to what he says. That's 14. And pleasures of life, and bring no fruit to perfection. This here is sad, because when I was doing this little study and how he want me to bring it forth, I like how he brought it to me first, because it shows me that things that he keeps saying to me, it is right on it, baby. It is right on it. Now, in verse 14, when he's sitting here saying about the thorns, are they which when they have heard. Now, they didn't heard the word. And what he mean in the purest form, his word. They go for it and are choked, okay? With cares. They let the cares of everyone around them. A lot of people do that when they blood relatives and family members, you know. They let all these cares overtake them, okay? And riches, when they get a little something, okay? And pleasures, meaning enjoying life, going here, going there, buying this, buying that, buying this, and no significant anything that is given to the perfection. What he said? No fruit to perfection. That means nothing to represent a higher and what he's doing down here on the earth. Nothing to enhance those that are in the midst to give you what you need. Oh no, I ain't gonna give it to that. Here goes some crumbs. I'm gonna go here, do this, do this, and they don't care who they use to get there. Just enjoy life. And when they finish, I don't care what you buy, what you get, you're gonna find yourself right back to the ground level, coming back to that same place. That's a chaos. It's gonna be waiting for you, because all the time you caught up in what? The cares, the riches, the pleasure of life. The pleasures of life is when you run around doing everything for yourself. And then how you said, and bring no fruit. Hallelujah. 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 No fruit to perfection. You don't have no respect, no spiritual respect, no spiritual honor, or nothing for those that Ahia have set before you to give you the light, to give you for spirit and truth. That's the spiritual. That's the fruit. Why? Because you're so busy taking care of yourself, because you feel you entitled. You feel this is mine, and it becomes a cycle and a mindset. So I thank him, because this here, I'm going to tell y'all, this here fit what he told me 2.5 weeks ago. This fit here. This fitted to the T. And this is why individuals can't do what he told them to do. It's because they're so busy trying. They're being choked. First of all, they're being choked by thorns. The word is being choked. That means it ain't manifesting in them, because they so caught up in me, and mine. I'm enjoying life. And baby, let me tell you something. All it takes is one thing, and that's sickness. How you bring that thing down so low, you wonder not a penny in your pocket. will get you anywhere. That's why it's very important to be obedient. When I'm gonna say that another example. You all, I don't know the name of the people. I don't know. I can't remember their name. And this is how sick it is. I'm gonna show you an example. When Ahia told me 2.5 weeks ago. You remember Peter now, okay? And everybody was given a portion to the church. Let's say to the church, not to the building, but to bringing it to the altar, to Peter now, okay? Everybody was given a portion. And this one man and woman, wife and husband, they decided to bring their portion, but the husband came first. The woman came behind them. Now, do you know Peter and them, our highest elects and chosen one, had no idea what the husband and the wife had? They had no idea what they had. It wasn't even Peter and the other disciples telling them what they had to do. Peter and other disciples didn't even tell them what they had to do. They didn't tell them you have to bring this or you have to give this. That was all the power of the Ruach. It was all in the power of our highest power. So the disciples was just there to collect everything. Okay? Why? So that those who are found within the light, within spirit and truth, that's what Peter and them would have everything equal. So all they were doing is this. Watch this here. So everybody was bringing to Peter and the disciples, okay? Now, this man and this woman, what they did is the man came first to present his to Peter, okay? Now, Peter and them didn't know all this stuff, but Ahia knew. Ahia knew what they had and what they should have given because Ahia had told them. Ahia had told them what to give. But the man figured, I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to just give him this. So he brought it forth. Ahia took their tails up out of here. He died. He fell straight dead. Why? This ain't got nothing to do with Peter and them disciples. This has got to do with, don't you mess with me. Don't try to bring something that I told you what to bring. That means it got to come from the heart, the right heart. And you trying to come before Peter now and among this church, and you're coming with the wrong heart. So it wasn't just he didn't give what he should have given. He was stealing from God. He was disobeying what the Spirit was telling him to do. He didn't give them what Ahia told him to give. Instead, he stole it. And one might think, well, how can I steal it? This is mine. This belongs to me. This is mine. This ain't yours. I don't want to give. That's what he's talking here in verse 14. Luke chapter 8, verse 14. And that's the mindset even to today. Real heavy. Real heavy. So what happened? He fell dead. Was that a reason to make somebody die? To lose and die? That's what Sister Deborah was saying. You can have all that you want. You can be going every place you want. You can buy this and buy that and buy this and buy that for no reason at all. Just doing it. But when Ahia say give, you bet. You're going to be held accountable. He'll let you dremel down every penny you got. And then say, how you like me now? Now what you have. You didn't put nothing toward the fruit of what I've sunk down there to give you what you got and what you starting to receive. But you're going to give it a portion. So he fell dead before Peter. Here his wife come. And I think she was bringing her portion too. Each one was bringing their portion. They weren't bringing it, I don't think, as little at a husband and wife. They was bringing their portion. So she come bringing hers. And guess what? Did Peter and them get what they brought? Yes. So it's showing you, live or die. Mine's going to get what I have orchestrated from him to get, whether you give it to him when I tell you or not. That's what people don't understand. That's why I'm to the point where, okay, Father, I get what you're saying. And I'm going to rest in that spirit and truth. Because when you rest in that spirit and truth, you can overlook the flesh and realize that flesh can't stand a chance. And it's leading people's flesh to be so wicked and evil. And it's okay, Deborah. So that man and that woman that passed away, was it worth them? Why did they have to die? I look at a situation like that. I said, well, Father, they wanted to hold on to what they wanted to hold on. All Peter and them needed to do is put them out of the church and tell them, okay, until you repent or until you and let them come. But see, their hearts wasn't right. It wasn't about Peter. Peter and all the disciples, they had no idea what this man and this woman had. Because Ahia is not about knowing people's business. He's just about, if I say to do this for mine, you do it. Give it. But when you think you can stand to the side and give them what you want, okay, I tell you what, stand there. Stand there. He fell dead. Wife came after him. What? She died and they buried her. Peter then what? Kept on. See, it didn't stop no flow. They were still taking care of the people as the Spirit of the Most High had allowed many to come and do it right. But I guess they figured, okay, we can pull one over on them and they don't know what we got. See, and okay, let me explain this to you all because the Spirit want me to say this. The individual would think that, oh, nobody know what I got. They don't know my business. You know, I just give whatever I want to give the way I see fit. Okay, that's good and dandy. Or I won't give at all. Let's put it like that. It don't matter because Peter and them had no idea what him and his wife had. It was spiritual, you guys. This is a spiritual example. That's why he's saying here, they bring no fruit to perfection because it's not about them perfecting the fruit of the Spirit, the ones that's representing the Spirit of Ahia. That's why many try to find little nitpick things to question and to wonder so that they can find error. You see? All of that is in it, y'all. All of that is in it. Peter and the disciples, they could care less. They was just collecting the things so everybody can be on one accord, which was thousands. And one was, they was all equal. You see? They wasn't off balance. You see what I'm saying? In this day, you can hang it up. People could care less. Like he said, if Yeshua's sitting here telling the disciples, let me tell y'all something. Y'all haven't received the Ruach HaKodesh, but Deborah has. Y'all don't know about the parable, but Deborah has. Just like Paul. Let me say that another time. Like Paul. Paul said it's better to speak with an unknown tongue. I mean, with a tongue that is easy to understand, meaning a language which is the others that you're speaking to can understand. He is correct. He is correct. And the reason why Paul was really saying that, you guys, because Paul didn't have what Sister Deborah had. Sister Deborah had the interpreter of tongues. That's why he said, if the people going to speak in tongues, make sure there's an interpreter. See, so what Paul was saying, don't speak in it because the people won't understand it. Instead of saying, okay, I think Paul might have said it, if there's an interpreter, because it's important to have all the gifts of the Spirit present. You see? But Paul was saying with him, since he didn't have the interpreter with tongue, I'm not going to speak no other way but straight to you so you can understand, because I did not receive the interpreter of the tongue. But Sister Deborah can counteract Paul and agree with Paul. See, I can agree with Paul, but then I can also say, Paul, I understand exactly what you're saying. I agree. You don't have what I have. I have the interpretation of tongues. So therefore, I can interpret what the people are saying. You see? So even though they say in words and speaking in unknown tongues, I can be able to edify the church and inform the people and the pastor, whomever, what is being said out of these voices. You see, that's how smooth Ahia is. He got all his covered. When he called you to something, he gave you the tools to work that thing. Okay, let's go to verse 15. But that on the good ground are they which in an honest and good heart, having heard the word, keep it and bring forth fruit with patience. What is that? Sister Deborah, since she was 4, telling y'all how he taught me in that basement and up in my mother's house, how I had the Bible and couldn't read, but thy, thee, and all that, I could understand, but nothing else. But I thirst so much for knowing what that book was saying. 4 years old. Always. My mother tell you that child had a Bible under her bed. Matter of fact, she had more than one. Every one she can find, she slept with it. So you see what I'm saying? So listen to this here. The ones that come in that haven't heard the word, keep it and bring forth fruit with patience. I had to have patience to be 62 today. Be 62 and still as hungry and thirsting for spirit and truth as I was when I was 4. You see? It ain't going nowhere. Why? Because before the foundation of the world, Ahiah knew his word was going to be placed in his to bring up fruit. Okay. Verse 19 to 16. So 15 is a good one. That's the one who's going to bring forth. So this is why I was saying I can be on this devil platform for year after year after year. It ain't going to matter to none of y'all unless you're going to bring forth. You see? The word of Ahiah as he has given it unto thee in spirit and in truth, and thirst for it. Now listen to 16. No man, when he has litten a candle, cover it with a vessel, or put it under a bed, but set it on a candlestick, that they which enter in may see the light. There go that light, y'all. Didn't I tell y'all? It's connected to the light. It is connected to the light. You don't hide what is in you under a bed. It's like a candle, like the example, which is another parable, really, that's hidden. Okay? Your light is going to shine because that's how Ahiah orchestrated it to before he even sun it down. Because he was already in heaven. Heaven and earth may what? Pass away. Heaven and earth shall pass away. Heaven and earth shall pass away. But what? Who he is going to remain. And that's why he's going to bring down the new heaven and earth. Bring down a new heaven onto the earth. Okay. Verse 17. This is the key passage right here. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hidden that shall not be known and come abroad. So if you run around here thinking that we are not in that day, that hour, that's why that day and that hour is to bring everything that was in the dark, bring it to light. That's what it is. Now, Netflix, HBO, and all these bringing movies, they bringing it to you, all kind of evil and wicked and demonic Satanism. All that is a sign of evil and wicked and evil. This is their day too. This is their hour. Okay? So all of that is manifested. Because I myself don't know how somebody made that many movies and everybody watching it like this. It's off the chain. So this is how Satan is winning the souls to where he's going. People rather look at stuff and believe it. They don't know Jeffro Donalds or whoever that man was. All that is to bring stuff forward. All the wicked and evil is to mess with the mind of men and women and boys and girls. All these games and machines they playing and all these movies they bringing forth is to start the purge. As they showed you in the movies, so shall it be like unto. And you can find the scriptures in Matthew 24. You see? So don't ever tell people this book is a lie. Because that's what our men are doing today. And it's okay for them to do it. Because Isaiah chapter 3, verse 25, justify, clarify, and identify why they're doing the things they're doing. And Isaiah, let me get this in here right quick. And Isaiah, so Isaiah chapter 3, verse 25. And go on and read 24. And then Isaiah chapter 3, let me show you something else. Chapter 3 and verse 7 and verse 8 and verse 9 and verse 10. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is where men just have totally, males have totally turned over to the dark side. Okay. So in Luke chapter 8, verse 17 says again, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hidden that shall not be known and come abroad. This is why you're hearing Sister Deborah speaks today, because all these years, what she's saying has been hidden. Look how long I said I known it, since I was in the 4 years old. You see? So you see how long I've had it, and how long Ahia has turmoil with me and teaching me from the level in which he has taught me. And here it is, I'm 62 now. So what is that saying? That's a long time. Okay? And don't think that I ain't never put it out there. You see? But what I like is he allowed me to live to be able to get on the devil platform and bring out spirit and truth. Okay? Now here it says that in verse 17, Luke chapter 8, verse 17, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hidden that shall not be made known come forth. So this is what Sister Deborah was saying about everybody don't understand where we're at today. They don't know that day nor that hour in which we're in. Every darkness that's been hidden is coming out. A lot of things. A lady come telling me, she said, Deborah, I never told you. And she has a story further down. She said, I just want to let you know I never told anybody that I was, my family did me wrong long time ago. And I had to take care of my grandmother because my granddaddy, I'm the product of my granddaddy having messing with my sister. I think he was her sister. And then she's the child from her sister and her granddaddy. It's a mess. It's something like that. And she said, and I was, my grandmother didn't want to have nothing to do with me. My mother didn't want to have, nobody want to have. And I said, well, let me tell you something, baby. I've heard that so many times. I'm numb to it. She said, you kidding? I said, no, baby. I've heard it all. Exactly what she's saying. This is darkness. Now, why? She telling me this past Sunday. Why? Because Ahia is showing me, Deborah, there is, you know that it is so much darkness that have been hidden. And I'm going to bring it to light only to minds, not to this world, not to those who get parables, not to those who are not walking spirit and truth, not to those who are not in the light, not to those that are not thirsty, only to minds, to let them know it ain't you. This world is off course. You see, and it's so much. If the world will see what men have done, males, in the light, it will blow every male on this earth mind. It would probably blow their mind. Matter of fact, what's said to me, they would probably commit suicide to know the truth of how males on this earth have done so much darkness and wicked beyond Satan. What they're doing is beyond what Satan can come up and add on to it. That's where the sad is at. Watch this here. Luke chapter 8, verse 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hidden that shall not be made known and come abroad. That means all this mess that people been doing in their flesh and assisting Satan and in their own flesh, because you are your worst enemy. Because your worst enemy going to send you with the ticket to the lake of fire, because that's what you're going to be judged on, the way you conduct yourself on the earth. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know that, because they put soul in the middle to keep you from knowing the difference between flesh and spirit. So now you don't know, so you can continue yourself dealing with flesh and soul, when soul and flesh ain't got nothing on spirit. Spirit is what's you need to be getting right, so that you can tame the addictions of the flesh. But you can't tame the addiction of the flesh, because they got soul in the middle to keep you from really know spirit and truth, which is spirit and it is flesh. Okay, one that fights against each other. As you read, it always tell you the spirit fights against your spirit fights against the flesh, and the flesh fight against the spirit. Where's the soul? Man made something to put there to throw you off, like he did with love. Okay, now verses 18, and this is where we end with verse 18 of I don't know, did I have 18 down here? No, I don't. I don't have 18. So I wanted to share with you that there are things that's in the dark that has no, it was in the dark. Okay, it was things that was hidden. It's things that's coming abroad. Let me tell you, not today. It's being coming. It's just that we late in gripping it because a higher is not allowing everybody to really grip it because they never gripped anything else. So why should you grip what's been in the door? It makes sense. So it's only for a certain one. Now I want you to go to Matthew's 10. Watch what Matthew 10 says. Matthew's chapter 10, verse 26. Matthew's chapter 10, verse 26. Matthew's chapter 10, verse 26. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hidden that shall not be known. So, see, and when Sister Deborah come and start spilling everything out, people start getting mad because the light has come. You see? Oh, spirit and truth can step in. You see? Oh, the truth of the whole matter is not speaking. See, and then everybody get bent and try to find fault or try to climb on top of something she's saying so they can be justified and clarified and identified that, see, she's in error here. It ain't gonna work, baby. Because he never said my flesh was gonna be perfect. Only thing he said be perfect in believe in him. I am perfect in believing him and who he is and what he stands for, his beginning to the end. I'm perfect in that. And not you and nobody else is going to be able to interfere with that. Okay. Now, I like Matthew 10 because it's giving Matthew 10 is also trying to get you to understand, fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hidden that shall not be known. Then let's go to Mark. So this thing about things that was covered up, don't stand your tail around in life and thinking stuff that you don't know about or stuff that's covered, that's being revealed can't be. Oh, it ain't that. It ain't what they said. It ain't this. We believe this, and we believe that's because everything been covered. In this day, in that day, and in the day, in that hour, things gonna be uncovered. Okay, and spirit and truth is gonna be revealed. Okay, and it has. It's been quite a while now. Okay, Mark chapter 4 and verse 22, and this is another one for verse 22. Mark chapter 4 verse 22. For there is nothing hidden which shall not be manifest, neither has anything kept secret, but that it shall come abroad. I love that. I thank the most high for that. I thank him for that because what it does is it allows one to see that why people run around here putting their trust in man and running around here, man this and all these platforms ain't saying nothing to them. Which is still, like I say, okay, because Haya has already orchestrated and has put everything into the Lamb Book of Life. And let me tell you, it's just, that's it. But I like the idea he still give everybody the ability to understand and to know that everything's going to be in the light. You're going to see everything for what it is. Oh, yes. You ain't going to be able to accept it because all your life you've been living a lie because that's what you wanted to live. Okay. But I love what I just learned in Luke 8 because it allowed me to see that people are where they at because that's where they at and they're going to be. So that's beautiful to me. I call that beautiful. Now, in the book of Luke, Mark, it was saying the same thing. You know, it's the hidden things and all this come to light. That which was in the dark should come to the light in the last days. That's all it said. And what is the last days? That day, that hour. And that's where we're at. Okay, now we have Isaiah 6. Let's see what something Isaiah was saying here and why I'm dealing with Isaiah 6 and what is being said here. I don't know. I can't remember it. Isaiah 6 verse 9. Isaiah 6 verse 9. And he said, go tell his people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. and see ye indeed, but proceed not. See, even though Sister Deborah is on here, when you hear me telling you I'm saying this, I'm saying this, and I'm saying this, and people still down here, see the power of Ahia from the heaven? He's saying the same thing. So when you try to make me error and make me bent because you've been all up, it ain't gonna work. It's over, y'all. It's over. You can go on to other pages and try to convince them. But over on this page, Ahia is not going to suffer it to be so. Now, in verse Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 9, he says, and he said, go and tell. Who is he telling this to? He's telling this to, I believe it's an angel or, someone from the heavens. Go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. Why are you sending him to tell them to hear, and you saying they're not going to understand? Now watch this here. And he says, see ye indeed, but precede not. Precede not. So you're telling them to hear, but hear not. You're telling them to see, but see not. See, don't mess with Father. Ahia. You see? So when Sister Deborah is standing on here saying, how is it that she's been on here 4 years and everybody's still down here, no one is coming up any level, but still way down here. Yeah, they might be on here trying to find nitpick questions to ask, which it does anything. That's because your flesh is a wicked. It's an evil spirit that your flesh wants to question things that has nothing to do with spirit and truth. Meaning, if the questions don't apply to your spirit, why do you want to know truth? Hallelujah. Woo, Father. If the questions that you have doesn't apply to spirit and truth, why do you want to know truth of a question that has no weight towards spirit and truth? That means your spiritual being. To know that, to understand that, why do you want to know it? To the level of not knowing spirit and truth, but you want to know questions. You need questions answered over and over and over and over, because there's a battle going on within you. It says, I see truth. Just like, what did he say? I'm going to go right back there. Father, y'all, you know you awesome. He said, go back to example. That example you just spoke of, go back. That is so true. Let me see. Okay, here it is. Luke chapter 8, verse 13. Those that he had planted his word, which is a seed, on the rock, are they which, when they hear, receive the word with joy. And these have no root, which while believing, and in time temptation, fall away. Verse 14. And that which fall among thorns are they which, when they hear, have heard, go forth and are choked. That's a different one. Let's go to 12. Let's see if it's in 12. Those by the wayside are those that hear, then cometh, and the devil takes it away, the word out of their heart, lest they shall believe and be saved. So all three of them is letting you know that the word comes before you, but it's the way you accept it. So if the word is what you're supposed to be manifesting, why are you wanting to manifest questions that has no connection to your spirit being, eternal life? Why do you want to know those questions? It's because you're fighting the battle within. Okay. So in Isaiah chapter 9, he's sending this individual, and he says, Ahia says, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. Hallelujah. That's the example I try to say to y'all every time I'm on this devil platform. They say they hear, oh, I got the Ruach HaKodesh, I got spirit and truth, I see the light, I know which way. You don't know nothing. You need to get with the Ruach HaKodesh. And you can't get with him until he abide in you. You better make sure in that day which we are in, and that hour in which we're in, you have what it takes. Okay, don't wait till the fire is trying you and think, or the judgment start to hit at the door. No, you better find out now. In verse 9, he says, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Verse 10, make the heart of this people fat. He's telling the Spirit to do this to them. Make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Unless, that means unless he come in and he does something. Outside of that, put this on them so they can't see, so they can't hear. And then in verse 11, it says, then said I, Lord, how long must I do this? And he answered, until the city be waste without inhabitant, and the houses without men, and the land be utter desolated. Verse 12, and Ahiah have removed men, men, far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. Verse 13, but ye in it shall be a tent, and it shall return, and shall be eaten as a, trail tree, and as a oak whose substance is in them. When they cast their leaves, so the holy seed shall be, the seed shall be the substance therein. See, he's talking about a tent. It's not going to have to go through what he's sending this angel to put on someone else, on the people, on those people. Israel. He's forever having to strike them in that way, because they just like he said that. Let me see. He's saying something to me. The last verse in Luke chapter 8, he said I should have went to Luke chapter 8, the last verse, and then we're done. 18. He said I should have covered Luke chapter 8, 18. So let's see what he's saying here. What is it he wanted me to leave off, not to leave off? Luke chapter 8, verse 18. Let's see what he's saying. Okay, we at Luke chapter 8, which we were on, in verse 18. We went all the way to 17, but I see he's saying, go back to 18. Take heed, therefore, how ye hear. For whosoever have, to him shall be given. You hear that word? Whosoever have, what? His word already. The one that have the seed that brought forth. What did he say? To him shall be given. Whosoever have not, from him shall be taken even that which he seemeth to have. That's like on this platform. Many people seem it to have something. In that day in which we're in that hour, that which is in the dark shall come to the light. It's going to be taken from them what little they seem to have. Notice right here, read it. And it says, listen to this. Take heed, therefore, how ye hear. For whosoever have, to him shall be given. Whosoever have not, from him shall be taken. Even that which he seemeth to have. Meaning they ain't going to have it. But what they seem it, meaning they flesh think they have, even that's going to be taken from them. So don't mess with the Father or higher. We are in that day and that hour. The judgment and the fire of Ahia is kindled. Now, I'm going to cover this. I'm going to give it to you. It was sent to me yesterday, and I know I didn't. I'm going to give it to you right quick, and then I'm going to cover this evening, a lesson on this. Someone sent this to me, and I want you to hear this because this has a great deal to do. And I better get going because I think I have to take my daughter, pick her up. And this was given to me. And when it was given to me, I thought it was very powerful. So I hope you could, let me turn it up. And we're going to discuss this here. And we'll be coming live.
Did you know that this Bible prophecy is actually happening right in front of your eyes? In the book of Revelation in the Bible, it talks about the great Euphrates River in the Middle East. It says that in the last days before God destroys the earth, that this great river will actually dry up. Well, this is the current state of that river. It's drying up. But that's not all. The Bible says that God chained up 4 fallen angels and actually imprisoned them underneath that river. And according to the Bible timeline, when the river dries up, they will be released from under the river to slaughter 1/3 of mankind. And the river is almost dried up. So it's only a matter of time before those angels are back on the earth. Make sure to subscribe and go watch my other videos to keep up to date with Bible prophecy.
Now, I'm going to go into that, and I haven't gotten around to it, and do my search. Okay, I'm going to go into that and do my search on that. And I'm honestly, when the Father told me about when I taught, when he sent me that video, and the Father told me, you remember you was telling them that my fire is at hand. He was trying to tell me about that which he's speaking of, to go back and do my study, sit down and read and go over it and bring it forth, because the fire you were speaking of is connected to that. So Sister Deborah said, I hope you got something out of it. And I say unto you, shalom and shalom. And on this channel is spirit and it is truth. Shalom and shalom.